welcome to our first screencast. We're going to show you how to set up your basic dev environment for phSite development. We're going to do this on Windows, and we're going to use a WAMP, which is an easy installer which will allow you to install the whole server end at once. So let's go right into that. I've got it bookmarked here somewhere. It's yes, wampserver.com. So basically we're gonna download the latest, which is the web server. I've already downloaded that, so let's go ahead and install the server. I'm going to open my downloads folder, and we're going to find the download of WAMP server. So let's run that. And accept. Just to accept the default locations, I'm going to create a quick launch icon for myself and install. And what it's going to do is going to ask you where your browser is, and it's going to ask for Internet Explorer by default, so you can just say open and that'll be fine. If you use a different browser, you can find the executable for that. So for mail parameters, you don't really have to worry about this. You could put your email address in there if you like. This is only if you're going to actually use this to send email, but we're not going to do it. But I'll just enter my name anyways. And click finish, and yes, we want to launch it right away. So it should have created this little icon, server online. So now, as you can see, you get this nice little start menu that gives you access to all your configurations for Apache. You can choose which Apache modules you want to install, and alias directories. You can add an alias, which we will do later. Anyways, that's we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to continue with the install. You have the phpMyAdmin, which is a web interface to manage your database. Localhost, that'll bring you to your web server web home. So as you can see, this is the default page that's served when you add WAMP server and it's running. So if you look here, you can go to under tools, and phpMyAdmin will, I'm getting a warning here, intranet settings are less secure. It's actually modified your firewall. So if you get this, you can just dismiss that because we're not too worried about that. It's just a local dev environment. Okay, so in here, phpMyAdmin, we can just go right ahead and create a new database for our application. We'll call phSite. And you want to keep the collation the same. You want actually what you want it to be, you want it to be UTF Unicode General, UTF-8 General CI is the collation you want, and the connection collation the same. This is your interface for PHP my and min. So anyways, we've created a database, and it's going to go ahead and show you that no tables have been found, but the database is there. So we'll come back to that after. The next thing, now that we want to get PuTTY installed. So if I do a search for PuTTY, now this is your SSH client and key generator. It's going to give you the page, download page, and what you want is this Windows installer for everything, because there's several programs involved with PuTTY and you need a few of them. So we're going to download this 0.6 installer. I've already done that, so I'm just going to hit cancel. Again, in the downloads section, what I'm going to do is run the PuTTY installer. Hit next, and just accept the all the default options. That's fine. I'm going to create a quick launch icon because I like that, and install. And you don't really need to view the README, it doesn't have anything useful. Finish. And now you should be able to start PuTTY. If we open PuTTY, you have several options which we're not going to really worry about right now. Cancel. What we do want to just verify is that it's there. So you see, yeah, it's added some programs if you go under PuTTY. PuTTyGen, this is what we want to go to next. So PuTTyGen, this is where we're going to generate our authentication key. So we're going to, under actions, you see generate a public and private key pair. We're going to generate that now, and it's asking me to move my mouse over this area. It's going to add some randomness to the algorithm that's creating the key, which is kind of important. Otherwise it can predict how it goes. So you have three sections here. So this is the section of the public key that we're going to be copying into our Launchpad account. We'll get back to that. And what you want to do now is you want to save these keys. So we're going to save them right now to the desktop. So let's call the public one public, and RSA public, and now we're going to save the private key. And you might want to do a passphrase if you want to be really secure in a production environment. But we're just going to say yes without protecting it. So again, I'll put it on the desktop. My private key, and save. So we'll leave this one open and just hide it. Now the last thing we need to download is a tool called Bazaar. Which is our version control system. and you see it runs on various environments. We're going to go into the Windows section, and you want to download the latest stable release, which is 2.1.1 right now. Again, I've already downloaded that, so I'm going to go ahead and install it and run that. You can accept that. And okay, so you want to install everything, full installation plus typical plus test utilities, because we're going to want to have as much compatibility with everything. So we're just going to select full installation. Bizarre. I don't want a desktop icon myself. And this you want to have checked. Quick launch. And next, install. Are going to go into our web root in the WAMP server. Oh, Bazaar is finished, so we can get out of there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is create our directory in our home profile where our keys are going to be stored for SSH. And this is important because it expects to see them in a certain spot. So what you want to do is find your profile under Documents and Settings, and Administrator, and is my account. So whatever your account name, it's usually your first initial with the last name. And what you want to do is you go and run and cmd command, which will bring you a command shell. Documents and Settings Administrator, that's exactly where you want to be. Now you want to make a directory, make dir, and just decimal SSH. And now you have to do it in the command line because it starts with a dot. It is a hidden directory, and you can't do it through the graphical interface. So now that that's done, we can go to our desktop and grab those keys that we generated and put it in the SSH directory. And I can't see where the other one went, so let's save the public key. And my computer, C, Documents and Settings, SSH. rsa.pub. Save. What you want to do is start Pageant, which is the actual key generator. So you're going to get authentication agent Pageant in your taskbar. So you want to right click on there, and right now you want to view keys. So there's no keys right now, so what we're going to do is add the key that we just created. So again, go back to your profile, you stored them, and open that, and then you close. Okay, so we've launched the Pageant and brought in our keys. So now what we need to do is go back online and put our key into Launchpad, which is where the code is hosted. Launchpad.net. So if you don't have an account on Launchpad already, you'll have to create one. As you see, I'm already logged in, so I am gonna go to my account. So if you look at this section here, SSH keys, this is where you're going to import the keys that you just created. And if you click on the little pencil icon, it's going to list, in my case, I've got a couple of them already. So what I'm going to do, I have removed one that I was testing before. So I'm going to want to bring in that key that I generated. So you've kept PuTTY key generator open, and now this is where you go back and copy this info here, and you add an SSH key. So now you paste it in here and hit import public key. And if you get everything works great, you're going to get this message, public key added. So now this is going to allow you to check out the code from Bazaar. So now what you want to do is go back to your web root, and in your WAMP server, go to your web directory, and again you want to run your command line, and you want to go back to where you were before. So we're going to change directory to C WAMP www. Okay, and now this is where we start working with Bazaar. So what we're going to do is go back to Launchpad and see where our branch is. So I've created a branch in here that we'll be working on today, and I'll go into that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this branch here, and I'm going to copy this and go back to my command line. And first, before I start checking out things, I have to do a couple of things. And the first thing is to initialize my identity in Bazaar. So to do that, you are going to use the command bzr for Bazaar, who am I? And next you are going to enter your name, Peter Hebert, and your email address, mail@peterhebert.com, in brackets, just like if it was on a subject line of an email, and you can enter that. And now if you type Bazaar, who am I, it should come back and tell you what you just entered. So that worked. So now we're going to take that entry that we copied here, and we're going to go and actually check out our code. So I'm going to edit and paste because we've already copied it. So now this command branch LP means Launchpad, and this is the user that has the thing and has created the project. This is the name of the project, and that's the branch. Except I forgot to do one more thing that we have to remember first. Is what you have to do is log in through Bazaar to Launchpad so that it knows who you are. So the command for this is launchpad login. And remember I just told you that the username is there, male Peter Hebert. So I'm going to enter that after login, Peter Hebert. And if it works, which it should, you should not get an error. And now we can do our branch checkout. And enter. And authentication successful, so that worked, which is good. And now it's going to start downloading the code. So we're going to stop that right here.